Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the Guys Book Club in the world. Book Club, yeah! And today, guys, we're an extremely special episode. Because you know why, guys? Because today, guys, we're on episode number 219, which is crazy, guys. Can't believe we reached this number. And you know, wow, I just get it. That next week, we're going to eat the milestone episode 225. It's quarter of 1,000 episode, guys. 25% of 1,000th episode. Let's see where we are going to be on episode number 1,000, guys. It's going to be episode 1,000. Let's say we are reaching 250 episodes per year. Around, if you have 56 weeks in a year, that will 5 episodes per week. 280, around 280. So I think in episode 100, 1,000, I'm supposed to be after I finish, or almost before I finish my degree. I think it's going to be a year after I finish my first degree. So it's going to be crazy that I'm going to do this podcast that I'm doing my study, and after that, though. Really crazy, guys. It's really crazy for me. But if you're not on the channel, welcome. Then if you're not familiar with this channel, welcome back. My name is Zach, and I'm the host. And on this podcast, we are working together on English speaking level, on English level, and on our communication skills to stand in front of the camera and to communicate better for the camera. I'm doing so because I truly believe that English is the number one tool that each one of us must acquire in order to be successful in life. And the second tool that is going to help us a lot is to know how to communicate better for the camera. And guys, I truly believe that if you are going to take those two skills, both skills, and we combine them together, both skills together, we can create great content, and we can impact billions of people around the world, and we can motivate billions of people around the world. When we can just make the world a better place because we was here. And guys, I think that I cannot emphasize enough how much is important to me to work on my English and to work on communication skills in front of the camera, and how much is important to me for us to inspire other people to do it. Because it's really important, guys, that you're going to work, that you will work on your English, guys. Because the world is waiting for your message. Yours, ladies and gentlemen that are watching this podcast, your message is important, and more important, your life is important. Just share with the world, guys. And I hope by showing myself, by showing my own journey to become an expert in English speaking, to become an expert in English speaking and reading, and communication, and to become an expert in communicating through the camera. So thank you very much, guys, for joining me. And you see today, guys, I have my two friends over there. Just when they heard about the podcast, they said, "Hey, Kev, you must come to the podcast." And so they rang me first to go to the podcast. Guys, if you want to check them out, you can find them in over 3, 2, 1. Bam, you can find them on Good Fun. And this great background was uploaded to YouTube to Good Fun by Mark22 on 15th of March 2015. And guys, we love it because we really like this video. And if you want to download the picture, you just need doesn't work. Just need to choose the version that you want. Press download. Right click on the picture, שמירת תמונת בשמיני בנושא picture S. Choose the variable to save it, and press save, and just like that, you will get this great background on your computer. So thank you very much for Mark22. Thank you very much for the artist who made this great background, for sharing it with us. And guys, today we'll continue doing with the Atomic Habits, a great book by James Clear. I really enjoyed this book, and I really love to do this podcast with this book. And we're going to finish chapter number 4. So this episode is going to be from page 56 to 61. It's going to be 6 pages instead of 5 that I do usual. But don't worry, tomorrow is going to be 4 pages. So if we are staying on our trail of 5 pages per week, per day. I find that 5 pages per day, it's like this sweet spot. It's not too long, it's not too short. And if you're today, like this is the second episode that I'm working today, but let's say on a usual day, then I work on the one episode. So 5 episode for 5 pages. I feel it's for me. It's get me to work on English. It's not too short and it's not too long. It's like for me, it's what work for me. And for each one of you, it's up to you what you're going to do. So guys, if you want to check out this grand account, or if you want to check out the Atomic Habits and James Clear social media account, you got all the link to it in the description below. So make sure to check them out. And guys, if you have any suggestion for me, I can improve myself or the podcast, or if any one of you want to come to the podcast and be a guest of the podcast, share your message with the board, work on English with me, maybe recommend me some new books that you want us to read together, or just have a great time with me because I'm a really nice guy. Please let me know in the comment below so we can arrange it. And guys, if you love the video, if you like it, and if you learned something new from the episode, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, put the notification bell so you notifications on each time. It's extremely exciting episode coming to YouTube. Disclaimer is going to be 5 extremely exciting episodes per week. And share with your friends, guys. And say so, it's going to help me a lot. And it's going to help me a lot. So if you can do it, I mean it's going to make me really happy. So guys, thank you very much for joining me, and let's just dive right into the book. So without any more introduction, let's just dive right into the book. So Atomic Habits by James Clear, page 56 to 61. And by the way, if you want to know which version of the book I'm using, you can see the picture over there. Read by the legend, the one and the man himself. Give me some drum, please. Oh boy, hey, yeah, the one and only. Let's go. This is one of the most surprising insights about our habits. You don't need to be aware of the cue for a habit to begin. You can notice an opportunity and take action before deciding, dedicating a conscious attention to it. This is what makes habits useful. It's also what makes them dangerous. As habit form, your actions come under the direction of your automatic and unconscious mind. You fall into old patterns before you realize what is happening. Unless someone points it out, you might not notice. You might not notice that you cover your mouth with your hand whenever you laugh, that you apologize before asking a question, or that you have a habit of finishing other people's sentences. And the more you repeat those patterns, the less likely you become to question what you are doing and why you are doing it. I once heard of a little clerk who was instructed to cut up empty gift cards to cut up empty gift cards after customers had used up the balance on the card. One day, the clerk cashed out a few customers in a row who punched with gift cards. When the next person walked up, the clerk swept the customer's actual credit card, picked up the scissors, and then cut it in half, entirely on autopilot, before looking up at the stunned customer and realizing what had just happened. Another woman I came across in my research was a former preschool teacher who had switched to a corporate job. Even though she was now working with adults, her old habits would kick in, and she kept asking coworkers if they had washed their hands after going to the bathroom. I also found the story of a man who had spent years working as a lifeguard and would occasionally yell, "Walk!" whenever he saw a child running. Over time, the cues that spark our habits becomes so common that they are essentially invisible. The treats on the kitchen counter, the remote control next to the couch, the phone in our pocket. Our responses to those cues are so deeply encoded that it might feel like the urge to act comes from nowhere. For these reasons, we must begin the process of behavior change with awareness. Before we can effectively build new habits, we need to get a handle on our current ones. This can be more challenging than it sounds, because once a habit is firmly rooted in your life, it is mostly non-conscious and automatic. If a habit remains mindless, you can't expect to improve it. As a psychologist Carl Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Title: The Habits Scorecard. The Japanese railway system is regarded as one of the best in the world. If you ever find yourself riding a train in Tokyo, you will notice that the conductors have a peculiar habit. As each operator runs the train, they proceed through a ritual of pointing at different objects and calling out commands. When the train approaches a signal, the operator will point at it and say, "Signal is green." As the train pulls into and out of each station, the operator will point at the speedometer and call out the exact speed. When it's time to leave, the operator will point at the timetable and state the time. Out on the platform, other employees are performing similar actions. Before each train departs, staff members will point along the edge of the platform and declare, "All clear, all clear." Every detail is identified, pointed at, and named aloud. This process, known as pointing and calling, is a safety system designed to reduce mistakes. It seems silly, but it works incredibly well. Pointing and calling reduces errors by up to 85%, and cuts accidents by 30%. The MTA subway system in New York City, adopted a modified version that is a point only, and within 2 years of implementation, incidents of incorrectly built subway fell 57%. Pointing and calling is so effective because it raises the level of awareness from a non-conscious habit to a more conscious level. Because the train operators must use their eyes, hands, mouth, and ears, they are more likely to notice problems before something goes wrong. My wife does something similar. Whenever we are preparing to walk out the door for a trip, she verbally calls out the most essential items in a packing list. I've got my keys, I've got my wallet, I've got my glasses, I've got my husband. Nice. The more automatic a behavior becomes, the less likely we are to consciously think about it. And when we have done something a thousand times before, we begin to overlook things. We assume that the next time will be just like the last. We are so used to doing what we have always done that we don't stop to question whether it is the right thing to do at all. Many of our failures in performance are largely attributable to a lack of self-awareness. One of our greatest challenges in changing habits is maintaining awareness of what we are actually doing. This helps explain why the consequences of bad habits can sneak up on us. We need a point and call system for our personal lives. That is the origin of the habits scorecard, which is a simple exercise you can use to become more aware of your habit, of your behavior. To create your own, make a list of your daily habits. Here is a simple of where your list might start. Wake up, turn off alarm, check my phone, go to the bathroom, wake myself, take a shower, brush my teeth, floss my teeth, put on deodorant, hang up the towel to dry, get dressed, make a cup of tea, and so on. Once you have a full list, look at each behavior and ask yourself, is this a good habit, a bad habit, or a natural habit? If it is a good habit, write plus next to it. If it is a bad habit, write minus. If it is a natural habit, write equal. For example, the list above might look like this. Wake up equal. Turn off alarm equal. Check my phone minus. Go to the bathroom equal. Wake myself plus. Take a shower plus. Wash my teeth plus. Floss my teeth plus. Put on deodorant plus. Hang up towel to dry equal. Get dressed equal. Make a cup of tea plus. Yeah, cup of coffee, cup of tea. What is your preference? What do you love more? What is your favorite? Cup of tea or cup of coffee? I think coffee with milk. This is my how I like. This is the way I like to start my day. The marks you give to a particular habit will depend on your situation and your goals. For someone who is trying to lose weight, eating a bagel with peanut butter every morning might be a bad habit. For someone who is trying to bulk up and add muscle, the same behavior might be a good habit. It all depends on what you are working toward. Scoring your habits can be a bit more complex for another reason as well. The labels a good habit and bad habit are slightly incorrect. There are no good habits or bad habits. There are only effective habits. That is, effective at solving your problems. All habits serve you in some way, even the bad ones, which is why you repeat them. For this exercise, categorize your habits by how they will benefit you in the long run. Generally speaking, good habits will have net positive outcomes. Bad habits have net negative outcomes. Smoking a cigarette might reduce stress right now. That is how it's serving you, but it's not a healthy long-term behavior. If you're still having trouble determining how to rate a particular habit, here is a question I like to ask. Does this behavior help me become the type of person I wish to be? Does this habit cast a vote for or against my desired identity? Habits that reinforce your desired identity are usually good. Habits that conflict with your desired identity are usually bad. As you create your habits scorecard, there is no need to change anything at first. The goal is to simply notice what is actually going on. Observe your thoughts and actions without the judgment or internal criticism. Don't blame yourself for your faults. Don't praise yourself for your success. For your successes, false successes. If you eat a chocolate bar every morning, acknowledge it almost as if you were watching someone else. Oh, how interesting that they would do such a thing. If you binge it, simply notice that you are eating more calories than you should. If you waste time online, notice that you are spending your life in a way that you do not want to. The first step to changing the bad habits is to be on the lookout for them. If you feel like you need extra help, then you can try pointing and calling in your own life. Say out loud the action that you are thinking of taking and what the outcome will be. If you want to cut back on your junk food a bit, but notice yourself grabbing another cookie, say out loud, I am about to eat this cookie, but I don't need it. It's good exercise. Eating it will cause me to gain weight and doubt my health. Hearing your bad habits spoken aloud makes the conscience seem more real. It adds weight to the action rather than letting yourself mindlessly slip into an old routine. This approach is useful. This approach is useful even if you are simply trying to remember a task on your to-do list. Just saying out loud, tomorrow I need to go to the post office after lunch, increases the odds that you will actually do it. You are getting yourself to acknowledge the need for action, and that can make all the difference. The process of behavior change always starts with awareness. Strategies like pointing and calling and the habits scorecard are focused on getting you to recognize your habits and acknowledge the cues that trigger them, which makes it possible to respond in a way that benefits you. Well, guys, because as I told you in the previous episode, I really have the problem to wake up in the morning. So from tomorrow, I will try to say to myself, I'm staying in bed in the bedroom because I want to wake up and to use the day. And I will tell you how it's works. So chapter summary. With enough practice, your brain will pick up on the cues that predict certain outcomes without consciously thinking about it. Once your habits become automatic, we stop paying attention to what we are doing. The process of behavior change always starts with awareness. You need to be aware of your habits before you can change them. Pointing and calling raises your level of awareness from a non-conscious habit to a more conscious level by verbalizing your actions. The habits scorecard is a simple exercise you can use to become more aware of your behavior. And guys, guess what? This is the end of the episode. So guys, thank you very much for joining me. I really appreciate the fact that you choose to invest your time with me, and I really hope that you learn something new from this chapter. What I'm taking from this episode is to say out loud if I'm going to do bad thing, just to say it out loud. I let myself to know it. And I will report to you in the future how it works for me. So guys, thank you very much, and I really hope to see you guys tomorrow for the next episode, extremely exciting episode, the last episode of the week. It's a beach lunch party time tomorrow. So let's go. And I really hope to see you guys tomorrow. Take care of yourself and give a great time. Bye. So today is Sunday, 31 on October 2021, and time now it's 21:23. אז תאריך היום ראשון, 31/25/21, שעכשיו היא 9:23, שנעשה פרק אחד. השבוע יש שם מסיבה של הסטודנטים, אז אני לא יודע מה אספיק להקליט. ויש יום חמישי שאני לא יודע, אז אני כבר במינוס 2 פרקים. יש עוד 5 פרקים שאני צריך לעשות. אז אני מסיים היום את הפרק של הסוף שבוע, אני מסיים את השבוע הזה. ואז יישאר לי שני שלישי להקליט 5 פרקים בשבוע הבא, ואם אני אספיק לדחוף עוד פרקים ברביעי חמישי, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים. אני שוב אחר אצלך, אני אסיים את זה, נקליט את הפרק הבא, אני עושה את האינסטגרם, תקלח ויאללה UFC! להתראות.